Husker Nation, Nebraska football. The spring game ended about an hour ago. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my thoughts and give a reaction on this spring game and go through which players I thought did the best today and showed the most potential going into this 2022 fall season. Welcome back to the channel though, everybody. If you're new to today's video, do me a quick favor before I talk about the spring game. Hit that sub button. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free of charge. Let's talk about the spring game. Couple of people that stood out. Casey Thompson, I think, made it pretty obvious that he's going to be the starting quarterback in the fall, which then brings up a question, though. Who's going to be the backup? Okay, is it going to be Smothers? Is it going to be Chuba Purdy? We saw a little bit of both of them today. But again, it's the spring game. These guys weren't even really tackling at first. And then, you know, it's tough to say how hard these guys were even going. Were they going 100%? Or were they going 75%? Because if that's the case, you can't really take too much from today's game. One thing I did want to talk about was the attendance. Looked about 45,000, I think is what they said, maybe 50. Looked like about after the first half, that was about cut in half to about 25,000. It is what it is. I'd say it's a pretty good turnout for a spring game. Obviously, you're not going to sell it out like you would in the fall and keep that sellout streak going, but still a good turnout in terms of the fans. I think there were some guys there, freshmen that'll be coming in this fall, and then also some possible transfer guys. There's a guy from TCU I made a video about. Hopefully he enjoyed his experience. Looking at some other players, though, I thought A.J. Rawlings, wide receiver / tight end from Omaha, Nebraska, went to Creighton Prep. I thought he showed some decent talent today. Thomas Fidone's out. I've made videos about that. Number one tight end out of his class in the nation. He had surgery. I believe it was his ACL. Not 100% on that, but I made a video on Fidone, and a lot of people in the comments were saying the surgery was an ACL. So we still don't know what his status is going to be. Scott Frost really hasn't talked too much about injuries in depth, you know, in terms of what's happened this spring. But if Fidone's out, I think A.J. Rawlings showed a little bit today that, you know, he's got the size at 6'6". He's got decent hands. I think if he adds some more size, though, in the weight room this offseason, he's going to be a starter for this team and honestly could maybe even go in the NFL in the later rounds in a couple of years because of how big this guy really is. So I want to say shout out A.J. Rawlings, a couple other guys, Yant, Anthony Grant, running backs. I thought both of them looked decent. We're going to have both those guys play. And Ramir Johnson. We have three very good running backs. So, again, I don't know who's going to start out of those running backs even. I think it's obvious at the quarterback spot. But I'm interested to see with how much depth this team has at quarterback, at running back, who is going to stay and if anyone's going to transfer, because there's a lot of talent. And sometimes, you know, these guys get a sense, oh, I'm not going to play that much this year, and they just transfer out hoping that they get a starting spot somewhere else. But, you know, it's late in the spring. It'd be tough for anyone to really transfer at this point, but you never know what could happen over the summer. I want to hear what you guys think, though. Let me know in the comments below who you thought had the best game. I thought a couple guys on defense looked decent, but nothing crazy, because I don't think these guys are really going 100% and really, you know, trying to lay out anyone on their team. So I think it's smart of the players not to really go that hard. Nobody wants to get injured in the, you know, last scrimmage of the season. But, you know, I think we saw a decent glimpse of this team and what they can be if, you know, they just close out games. I wanted to talk about the punter a little bit also, the kid from Montana, I believe it's from, Montana State maybe. He had an absolute bomb the first kick out, and the other kicks after that I thought were mediocre. We have to clean up the kicking game this year if we're going to be good and actually close out games and win. Special teams were a huge burden on this team last year, and they honestly lost Nebraska a couple games. You fix up the special teams problems on this team, you're not going to be 3-9. Okay, last year's team with a good special teams unit is not 3-9. They're probably 5-7, maybe 6-6. I don't know, but they're not 3-9. So I hope to see the special teams actually cleans it up. The punter looked good though, in my opinion. Other than that, from the transfer guys. There was a kid from Arizona State. I can't think of his name. Defensive back. I've made a video on him before. Thought he looked decent today. We're going to have the black shirts, though, once they're named, really kind of step up and take control, because historically Nebraska is known for having an unreal defense. That's why they got the black shirt name. So hopefully some guys step up when they get those black shirts whenever they're given out. But I thought overall decent performance, but you can't take too much from these spring games just because guys aren't going that hard. So let me know in the comments below, though, if I missed any players that you guys thought stood out. I want to know who you guys thought was the MVP of the spring game. And I'll make a video going over the O-line. Keep an eye out for that. But just kind of wanted to make a quick reaction video of the spring game. Thought it was decent. Not too many turnovers either, even though there was a couple I thought, was tough to watch. It brought me back to last year with Adrian Martinez. So hopefully it's not another year of turnovers like it has been the last, couple with Adrian. I don't think Casey's going to throw as many turnovers as Adrian did. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But guys, thanks again for tuning in to today's video. If you're new, hit that sub button before you head out. Let me know who you guys think was the MVP of today's spring game. And until next video, peace.